Junior Roller Derby World Cup are here competing at the Hoagie Fest, this weekend. These skaters will join 6 others from across the United States to compete in Brisbane, Australia in July against teams from France, Great Britain, Denmark, Sweden, Belgium, Mexico, Canada, New Zealand, and of course, Australia. Best of luck to all the skaters representing the USA at the World Cup this summer. We are so proud of this amazing accomplishment. And with that whistle, we have the start of game 5. And on the jam line, we have for Philly, No Gus, No Glory going up against Colombia's Kelman. That whistle signifies the first jam is on, as both jammers are in the back of the pack, trying to push their way through. Black Wall is holding up No Gus, No Glory as Kelman is trying to do some fancy footwork in the back of the pack up against the Philly blockers. And with that whistle, we have a lead jammer. Philly takes the lead with No Gus, No Glory, as Kelman gets cycled to the back of the pack. As Soul Crusher for Columbia goes to the penalty box, it looks like, as No Gus, No Glory makes it out of the pack, cycles back through, and gains an additional 4 points for Philly. Kelman has made it through the pack on his initial and is knocked out by Hoagie Roll as No Gus, No Glory comes past his block. Kelman makes it out of the pack, picking up 4 points for Columbia. As No Gus, No Glory comes through, takes a slight spill, but back up on his skates. As Tank for Columbia is sent to the penalty box. Kelman has made it out of the pack. As a reminder, Philly has lead status, which lead status gives him the opportunity to call up the jam. No Gus, No Glory is working up against this black wall, trying to find a way through, as Kelman is in the back of the pack, but No Gus, No Glory calls off the jam for Philly. First jam is 24 points to Philly and 10 to Columbia. And going into jam 2, we have Bee Sting on the jam line for Philly up against Bug for Columbia. As Mad Danger tries to chase down Bee Sting, but Bee Sting makes it through, getting lead jammer status for Philly. Bug is caught in the back of the pack, trying to work his way through for his initial. Bee Sting is cycled back by Bug Thuggerson as they are knocked out of off the track. Looks like we have a standoff between our two jammers, but Bugs comes back through, takes a slight hop on the apex. He completes it, but does get knocked back out, but comes back onto the track. As Tank for Columbia is sent to the penalty box on a forearm. And Bug for Columbia is cycled back. And Bug is trying to make it through the white wall as the jam is called off. That was a 4-point jam for Philly. Going into jam 3, we have No Gus, No Glory for Philly and up against Kilman for Columbia. Columbia has 2 blockers in the box. We have a 2-man wall for Columbia with Bug and Kid block, but No Gus, No Glory breaks through the blockers and gets lead jammer status as Kilman is trying to fight its way through the back of the pack, but makes it through past the white wall. We have Bug Thuggerson trying to hold back No Gus, No Glory. But as he's attempting to holding back, Bug receives a penalty and is sent to the penalty box, along with number 26 for Philly. And the No Gus calls off the jam before Kilman can get any additional points for Columbia. That brings the score 36-14, Philly. We have a timeout for Columbia. We want to give out a gigantic thank you to Rydell Skates. In the world of roller skating, Rydell Roller has no equal. As the most recognized name in the roller skating industry, Rydell offers a wide variety of skating boots and accessories for all roller skating specialties, including derby, rink, and speed, rhythm and shuffle, jam, artistic, and outdoor. So whether you're interested in a comfortable skate that accentuates your style or looking to gain a competitive edge, Rydell has the skate for you. Rydell, advancing the sport of figure skating and roller skating since 1945. And with that, we are back on. We are in Jam 4, and we have Tenacious K takes the lead for Philly as Kilman is trying to make it through the pack, makes it through his initial. Tenacious K has met up with the black wall as Kilman takes a slight hop through that third apex. And Tenacious K takes the opportunity to call off the jam before Kilman can get back around. That was a 2-point jam for Philly, 4 points for Columbia. Going into Jam 5 for Philly, we have No Gus, No Glory up against Columbia's Doug Buggerson. We have an empty penalty box, so we have a full track. We have a little bit of jammer on jammer, and then they break free. Bug is coming up through the back of the pack where No Gus, No Glory is pushing up against Hippo to get through the front of the pack to claim lead jammer status. No Gus, No Glory is going up against Mad Danger, but makes it through again to get an additional 4 points for Philly. Bug looks like he is stuck back behind the white wall, trying to make an attempt from the back of the pack. As you have Pippa Ray Gun spreading out. And with that, we have Rolling Reesma sent to the penalty box for Columbia. So Columbia is down one blocker as Bug comes around. He made it through his initial. He's looking up to pick up any additional points before No Gus is able to call off the jam. And with that, we have a power jam as Doug Buggerson for Columbia is sent to the penalty box on a cut track. So Philly is going to start this next jam and a power start. As it looks like Naya is going to be the jammer on this power start for Philly. The black wall, we have a black wall is trying to hold back as Philly is playing some offense to assist their jammer. With that, Naya is knocked out and cycled back by Kilman. And Bug is out of the penalty box and in the back of the pack trying to work through the white wall. As Bug scurries to his feet to make it through the pack. There is no lead jammer as Bug has made it through the pack, picking up an additional 4 points for Columbia, as Naya again is cycled back by Kilman, making every effort to make it through this black wall to pick up additional points for Philly. At the same time, Bug takes a short hop on that second apex to pick up an additional 4 points. As Philly's smash, number 444, comes out of the penalty box. There was an attempt for a star pass, and the star pass is complete. Smash, number 444, is the new jammer for Philly, having a hard time staying on their feet as they're getting cycled back by Columbia's tank. Bug is in the front of the pack trying to work through the Philly wall. And that is a call for the Jam 6 for Philly versus Columbia. Looks like we have an empty penalty box. We have a full track. On the jam line for Philly, we have No Gus, No Glory up against Columbia's Kilman. Jam is on as Kilman tries to cycle to the inside. No Gus, No Glory does make the pass on the inside, gets a little bit of a resistance from Hippo, but not before getting lead jammer status. Kilman trying to make a whip there on Imp for Columbia, but it is unsuccessful as No Gus, No Glory busts through that black wall again to pick up an additional 4 points. No Gus, No Glory has made it around the track again, met the black wall. Black wall had to back off, but not before Mad Danger is sent to the penalty box for Columbia. As the white wall knocked Kilman out of bounds as Hoagie Roll is cycling Kilman from Columbia to the back of the pack. And No Gus, No Glory is making light work of that black wall to get through again to pick up an additional 4 points. Currently, it's a 16-point jam for No Gus. As Kilman is continuing to work through the back of the pack, trying to get through and makes it through on his initial. As Kilman puts back on the panty, must have the panty on their head when they go through the pack to be able to pick up points. Kilman is in the front of the pack as Imp the Shrimp is... No Gus, No Glory calls off the jam. So that jam was 2 points for Columbia and 24 points for Philly, bringing the score 78-33 Philly. And that is a timeout for Columbia. During the timeout, we want to make an announcement. We have a message for all the Philly All-Stars. You are all amazing. We love our Philly All-Stars from your All-Star parents and siblings. All right, we have another shout out for Tef. This is from the Philly Roller Derby Juniors, skaters and families. Happy birthday. We all love you, Tef. As we have another 5 seconds in this timeout, this is that whistle as the jam is going to get ready to be back on. We have an empty penalty box, so we do have a full track. For Columbia on the jam line, we have number 17, Chublakya, up against Phillies, number 3377, which is Bee Sting. Both jammers working hard to get through and past these walls as Tank is trying to do an offense to help out Chewy to get her through. But Gogo knocks out Bee Sting, and with that, Chublakya gets lead jammer for Columbia. And Bee Sting is knocked back and cycled back with Bug and Kid. White Wall is coming back to help out Bee Sting. And an offensive to try to get him in. And Bee Sting is pressing hard on the black wall at the front of the pack. But we do have a star pass. Bug makes an attempt to knock out the white pivot who had gained star status. That was a 7-point jam for Columbia, bringing the score to 78 Philly, 40 Columbia. We again have an empty penalty box, so we have a full track. We have No Gus, No Glory going up against Columbia's Kilman. Jam is on. No Gus, No Glory circles to the inside, then back out to the outside to make it past the black wall. And again, Philly's No Gus, No Glory makes light work of coming around that black wall to pick up their first 4 points for this jam as Kilman makes it through the pack on his initial. Kilman makes a slight jump, is unsuccessful on the landing, but with that, because he didn't complete it, he actually wiped out one of the white blockers and is sent to the penalty box on a low block. So No Gus, No Glory is on a power jam for Philly. Looks like No Gus, No Glory is going to take full advantage of this power jam to pick up additional points for Philly. As the Philly wall comes in to assist with an offense to help No Gus, No Glory get through, as he picks up an additional 4 points. So far, this is a 20-point jam for Philly. And number 37, Holy Blockett, is sent to the penalty box. And we have a
loss of lead by No Gus, No Glory as they are sent to the penalty box. We have 21 seconds left in this jam, giving a power jam to Kilman. As he makes it past the white wall to pick up an additional 4 points. As Thomas comes up from the backside of the pack to assist. So that was a 20-point jam for Philly. Looks like an 8-point jam for Columbia, bringing the score to 98-48 Philly. We have 14 minutes left in the first period. We're going to have a power start because we have the Philly jammer in the box. That means that Bug has the opportunity and takes full advantage of that power jam or power start opportunity to get out of the pack and get lead jammer status for Columbia. And No Gus, No Glory quickly comes back onto the track out of the penalty box to get through on his initial pass. No Gus, No Glory comes around, but Bug Thuggerson calls off the jam before No Gus, No Glory can pick up an additional points. That's 4 points for Columbia. And we are in Jam 11. We have Tenacious K for Philly up against Kilman for Columbia. Both jammers are working on these walls, trying to get through to get lead jammer status. And Tenacious K makes it through first, but Kilman is right behind them as Columbia loses one of their blockers, Reisma, to the box. Tenacious K is knocked to the outside and cycled back by Hippo. At the same time, Kilman is knocked out and cycled back through by Holly Blockett. Both jammers are back into play status. As Tenacious K makes it through the wall to get lead jammer status. Kilman has made it through the pack again, picking up 12 points for Columbia at this time and 4 points for Tenacious K. We still have one blocker in the box, just came out for Philly as the jam is called off. Score is 105-68 Philly. That was a 7-point jam for Philly and 16 points for Columbia. All right, we're going into Jam 12 with Bug for Columbia and No Gus, No Glory for Philly. Black Wall is doing a good job of holding back No Gus, No Glory in the front of the pack, while the White Wall is holding back Bug, and I-Roll has cycled Bug back, giving the opportunity for No Gus, No Glory to get lead jammer for Philly. Bug is knocked out and cycled back, but I-Roll receives a penalty for a high block and is sent to the penalty box. We have both jammers facing the wall. And No Gus, No Glory is let through as Bug is caught in the back of the pack and cycled back by Philly. No Gus, No Glory was making an attempt to make it through the black wall, but received a penalty and is sent to the penalty box. So lead jammer status has been lost. This jam will go for another 45 seconds for the full 2 minutes. So right now we are on a power jam for Columbia. As Bug is knocked out and comes back in, he receives no pass, no penalty to be able to get through the pack. Columbia is still on a power jam. And quickly, No Gus, No Glory comes out of the penalty box and sneaks on the outside past the black wall to pick up 4 points for Philly. And with that, the jam is off. That went for the full 2 minutes. That was a 16-point jam for Philly and 12 points for Columbia. And we have a timeout for Columbia. And during this timeout, we want to take the opportunity as a reminder that food is not permitted on any area of the rink. All drinks must have a cover or cap so that we don't have any spills. And be sure to throw out all of your trash. We thank you in advance for your help and help with keeping our facility clean. Also, that if you are on skates, whether you are a ref or a skater, you must have all gear on, full gear. And for your safety and the safety of our spectators, skates are not to be worn on the bleachers. Always remember, safety first. And with that whistle, the next jam will be on at the next whistle. Our penalty box is empty, so we have a full track. We have Kilman for Columbia, and Naya for Philly makes quick work to get around that black wall to get lead jammer status. As they come back around, they get knocked out by Mad Danger, who gets cycled back, but Kilman is pressing on this white wall. Naya is met up with the black wall, but makes through to pick up 4 points for Philly, as Kilman has still just made it through the pack on their initial. And with that, our pivot for Philly, number 444, is being sent to the penalty box on a cut track. So we have a player switch as Smash goes into the penalty box for Philly. Holy Blockett comes out. Kilman has made it around the track, picking up an additional 4 points. But Philly has 12 points to Columbia's 8 so far in this jam. Now we have a little bit of jammer on jammer as Kilman attempts to cycle back Naya from Philly before getting through, has a little spill coming out of that third turn, but does pick up the 4 points before Naya is able to call off the jam for Philly. So that's 16 to 12. That's a 4-point gain for Philly. With that whistle, the jam is on. We have on the line No Gus, No Glory up against Bug for Columbia. Both jammers are working hard to get through their walls. Bug makes it first, which gives him lead jammer status as No Gus, No Glory comes through right behind. Bug is calling off the... But calls off the jam. That's a 2-point gain for Columbia. As both teams are taking their lining up on the jam line, we have Kilman for Columbia and Beasting for Philly. Beasting quickly works their way to the front of the pack, but gets cycled back, then meets Mad Danger and Hippo from Columbia as Kilman sneaks through on the inside to get lead jammer status for Columbia. As Kilman makes it through to pick up an additional, picks up 1 point for Columbia before calling off the jam. Philly Juniors would like to send big thanks to the staff at the Northeast Racket and Fitness Club. We love skating at the NERC and appreciate all the NERC staff does to accommodate our needs throughout the season. With that, the jam is on. We do have No Guts, No Glory on the jam line for Philly up against Bug Thuggerson for Columbia. No Guts, No Glory got knocked out and cycled back as Bug is also knocked out and cycled back. No Gus is at the front of the pack up against the black wall as Bug is working his way from the back of the pack to the front, but quickly makes it through the pack, gets a no pass, no penalty. As No Gus calls off the jam. That was a 0-point jam. So no gain for either team on that, on jam 16. So it looks like we have Tenacious K up against Kilman for jam 17. We have both teams have a full wall. Tenacious K is making short work of coming to the front of the pack to meet up with the black wall, but Kilman breaks through to get lead jammer status, but now is on a power jam as Tenacious K was sent to the penalty box as the jammer for Philly. As Smash comes to the front of the pack to try to slow down Kilman before rejoining the white wall. Number 444 is sent to the penalty box for Philly. So we have a 3-man wall for Philly. As Kilman calls off the jam after picking up an additional 4 points for the Columbia. That was an 8-point jam for Columbia. Score is 137-103 Philly. We have a 4-man wall versus a 3-man wall for Philly. Both walls skate back up to the pivot line before pushing back to the jammer line and strategy of holding back these jammers. And immediately Kid Block is sent to the penalty box. But Bug is sent, gets lead jammer and does a huge apex jump as after calling off the jam. That was a 4-point jam for Columbia. Both walls are short 1 blocker at the start of jam 17. Both walls are holding back the jammers. Philly's jammer, Naya, is getting cycled back twice as Columbia's Chublakia is trying to work her way through the pack up against this white wall. Both jammers are getting held back. Getting held back. As number 37 comes through, Holly Blockett, to help aid the white jammer. We do have a pin removal for Philly. Columbia Chewbacca made it through the pack, but received a penalty and was sent back to the penalty box. This is going to be a full 2-minute jam. And now we have a jammer switch. We have 50 seconds left in this jam as Chewbacca makes it out of the penalty box in the attempt to get points for Columbia. The Philly jammer only has to sit as long as the Columbia jammer did because we have a jammer switch. As Columbia is making an attempt to push through, but has to give. Bug chases down Naya. Naya is attempting to make a star pass as there is a bridge between the black wall and the white jammer. That jam went the full 2 minutes. Hello, y'all, and welcome back to the second period of Game 5, Philly All-Stars versus Columbia Junior Roller All-Stars. I want to take this opportunity to give a special shout out to all of our photographers who are here this weekend. Your photographs not only make these skaters look amazing, but they provide with special keepsakes that will last a lifetime. We are thankful that you have chosen to spend your time and share your talents with us. Drew Weidman, Andrea Keys, Ross Stiebler, and all the other lead photographers who are here with us this weekend. Thank you so much. As the refs have done gear checks to finish off this intermission before we get the first whistle for the second period. Period 1 ended with the score of 137 Philly to 110 Columbia. This will be the last game of the first day of the Invitational. Please make sure to pick up after yourself when you go to leave. Do not leave any trash. Let's leave it better than we found it. So Philly is going to start with a three-man wall with No Gus, No Glory as the jammer. And the black wall for Columbia with Bug Thuggerson as the jammer. And with that whistle, the jam is on. Both jammers are pressing up against the wall, trying to see who's going to get lead jammer. Bug makes it through to the front of the pack, but is met by the white wall and gains lead status as No Gus, No Glory is held back. Bud makes it through on the inside to make it through their initial pass. And Bug makes it through the pack to pick up 4 points and calls off the jam. We have a full track. The penalty box is empty as we go into Jam 2. We have Beasting for Philly up against Kilman for Columbia. Both jammers are working up against the wall. Beasting is up at the front of the pack as Kilman is cycled back by Eye Roll, but Beasting makes it through to get lead jammer status as the black wall comes back in an attempt to help Kilman get through the white wall. As Kilman's working on the inside, but stumbles through and back up on his feet to get through the initial pass. Beasting calls off the jam for Philly, but not before picking up 3 points. That was a 3-point jam going to Philly. We have a three-man wall for Columbia as one of the blockers is in the penalty box as this Jam 3 goes into, we start Jam 3. We have No Gus, No Glory up against Bug for Columbia. Both jammers are playing a little bit of one-on-one to see who's going to press through as Bug gets knocked out, cycled back, and No Gus, No Glory takes ample opportunity and advantage of that to break through the pack to get lead jammer status as Bug is knocked out on the inside and cycled back up against the white wall in the back of the pack as No Gus, No Glory makes it through to pick up 4 points for Philly. I have a lot of stumble here right before this on the pivot line. And the white wall is split up as we have number 21, Pippin Reagan, trying to break up that black wall to assist No Gus, No Glory to get through. As Bug snuck on the outside to get the initial pass for Columbia. Bug sneaks by on the outside to pick up 4 points for Columbia as No Gus, No Glory is going up against Tank and Kid Block from Columbia in the front of the pack. That Bug is get knocked out and cycled back and making an attempt on the inside and jukes to the outside. But No Gus, No Glory is cycled back by Kid Block as jam is called off. That was a 16-point jam for Philly, 8 points for Columbia. So that was an 8-point gain for Philadelphia. And we have an official timeout. And we're going to take this opportunity. Philly Roller Derby Juniors would like to thank 187 Killer Pads for their support for this season. If you skate, you know 187 Killer Pads are the choice of more pro skaters than any other brand. With visionary designs and top-rated safety and a variety of spectacular patterns, don't skate without your 187 pads. And with that whistle, they're going to call the jam back on. Next whistle is going to start the jam. We're going to be going into jam. What the? This is jam 4. We have Chewbacca on the jam line for Columbia up against Tenacious K for Philly. Tenacious K makes it to the front of the pack and gets out to get lead jammer status as Chewbacca is getting held back by the white wall. Hippo is working on Tenacious K to hold it back. As Chewy's getting held back by the white wall. Tenacious K is hit back out by a Hippo and cycled back to the back of the pack. Chewbacca has removed the panty cover, and we do have a star pass to Mad Danger on Columbia. Chewbacca switches over to blocker as Mad Danger makes it through the front of the pack. They are working on putting on that panty cover as the next pass through, they can pick up some points for Columbia. Tenacious K is made back around the track, working to the outside, but not before skidding to a stop. And met by the black wall. It's holding Tenacious K back, and the white wall is holding back Mad Danger, who's working on getting through this pack. As Mad Danger takes a slight spill on the outside of the track. As Mad Danger gets a penalty and sent to the penalty box for a cut track. And there, as the 2-minute jam at the very end, Hippo for Columbia is sent to the penalty box for a high block. So we're going to have a power start for Philly with No Guts, No Glory on the jam line. We have two Columbia blockers in the box. A blocker and the jammer for Columbia. No Guts, No Glory has made slick work on the outside and has passed all 3 black blockers to get lead jammer status. Taking full advantage of the power jam. As No Gus, No Glory is working up against the 2 Columbia blockers that are on the track. We are no longer in a power jam because Mad Danger is back on the track for Columbia. And working their way through the back of the pack to get through this white wall. As No Gus, No Glory comes around to pick up an additional 4 points as they jump that third apex. Again to No Gus, No Glory, makes it around and passes through the entire pack on that third turn as the white wall is trying to hold back Mad Danger from gaining any advantage. No Guts, No Glory did get knocked out by Bug and getting cycled back to the back of the pack. No Gus, No Glory is attempting to get through the black wall as Mad Danger is stuck behind the white wall. We did have a star pass for Columbia, Thug Buggerson being the new jammer for Columbia. No Gus, No Glory is taking full advantage and made it through the pack and is currently on 16 points during this jam. Skates through backwards to pick up another 4 points. That was a 20-point jam for Philly. Score is 188 to 125. We do have a full track. We have an empty penalty box. And on the jam line, we have Naya for Philly up against Kilman for Columbia. Jam is on. Naya gets knocked out and cycled back to the back of the pack, but quickly makes it to the front of the pack, going up against the black wall. But Naya receives a penalty and is sent to the penalty box, so we are on a power jam for Kilman. And Kilman has gained lead jammer status as he comes out of the front of the pack through the white wall. Again, this is a power jam for Columbia. As Kilman is cycled back and makes it through and tiptoes through, but gets knocked out and cycled back. And Naya does a 360 toe stop spin on the outside to get through quickly past that black wall. As Kilman calls off the jam, that was 4 points for Columbia. On the jam line, we have Bug Thuggerson for Columbia. And No Gus, No Glory for Philly. Bug makes it through the front of the pack first, getting lead jammer status, and is trying to juke around, but calls off the jam before going down. Let's see if No Gus got 1 point for Philly and 2 points by Bug for Columbia. We do have a full track. We have an empty penalty box. We have Bee Sting and Bug on the jam line. Bee Sting's glided back, kind of faking out the black wall to go through on the outside to get lead jammer status, as Bug makes it through the white wall but did receive a penalty. So we are on a power jam for Philly as Bee Sting is working but calls off the jam, which means the next jam is going to be a power start for No Gus, No Glory. And jam is on for this power start for No Gus, No Glory for Philly as he snuck on the outside, but Thomas the Train snuck in there and knocked him out and recycling to the very back of the pack. And there was a wide open for No Gus, No Glory to get through the pack on the initial. We have a slight stumble right here at the pivot line. Several players going down onto the track. Kilman and Hippo working on No Gus, No Glory, but he makes quick footwork and goes through backwards to pick up an additional 4 points. Bug skates to the inside in an attempt to get through, but gets knocked out, cycled back as No Gus, No Glory goes to the outside and picks up 4 points. Right here we have a pile up here on turn 1, right at the pivot line. But No Gus, No Glory takes full advantage to pick up an additional 4 points. Bug is still working from the back of the pack to get through this white wall. As No Gus, No Glory calls off the jam, but not before picking up 16 points for Philly. We are going to have an official review. So we are in an official timeout. We want to take the opportunity to thank all the amazing Philly families who have stepped in to volunteer this weekend. It takes a village to host a tournament, and we could never have done it without you. Many thanks. And with that, we are going into an official review for Columbia. All right, that official review was called by Columbia. They were discussing a low block possibility on No Gus, No Glory. It was not seen by the refs, so they will not retain the penalty. With that whistle, we are back on in Jam 10. All right, we're getting ready to go into Jam 10. We have Kilman on the jam line and Tenacious K. Tenacious K makes quick work to get through that three-man Columbia wall to take lead jammer status. Kilman is working on the inside, but gets cycled back, way back, by the white blocker. And Kilman makes it through the pack on his initial, no pass, no penalty. Tenacious K has lead jammer status, has the opportunity to call it out, and they do. But not before gaining 3 points for Philly. All right, we have a full track. Nobody in the penalty box. We have No Gus, No Glory up against, from Philly up against Columbia's Thug Buggerson. Both jammers are looking for a hole. No Gus, No Glory gets pushed to the outside and cycled back by Kilman. Bug is also knocked to the outside and cycled back. It attempts to make an apex jump on that fourth turn and was unsuccessful, but makes it back into the track. Quickly comes back on into the inside. And we have a little stumble here on the outside of the track, but not before No Gus, No Glory makes it through the wall to get lead jammer status. And Bug makes it through without no pass, no penalty through his initial pass. As No Gus, No Glory tiptoes on the inside to make it skinnily through that black wall. And Bug Thuggerson is cycled back and makes it through to pick up 4 points for Columbia. Actually, 3 points for Columbia. As No Gus, No Glory is coming to the backside, and they are sneaking through an apex jump on the inside of the black wall and immediately calling off the jam, taking full use of that lead jammer status. That was a 9-point gain for Philly. 16 points for Philly, 7 for Columbia, bringing the score to 228, 141 Philly. On the jam line for Columbia, we have Chublakia, and for Philly, we have Naya Callahan. Naya is pushing up against the black wall, being cycled back by Bug. But Naya takes full advantage and sneaks on that inside in that slim area to gain lead jammer status as Chublakia is working on the back of the pack, trying to work their way forward, getting some assistance from Bug. The black wall is holding back Naya, but number 37 for Philly comes in and gives an assist as Chublakia makes it through the pack, but receives a cut track and sent to the penalty box, along with Bug having a penalty as well. So we have a three-man wall for Columbia, as Naya calls off the jam for Philly. but not before getting a total of 6 points on this jam for Philly. We're going to have a power start for Philly. Their jammer being No Gus, No Glory. Chupakia will come out of the box as the jammer for Columbia. The white wall takes full advantage and scurries in to break up this black wall so that No Gus, No Glory can get through to get lead jammer status. No Gus, No Glory tiptoes through on the outside on the very narrow margin of the track to get through to pick up 4 points for Philly. Chupakia for Columbia is back on the track, working their way through the wall, trying to gain their initial pass as the black wall is working up against No Gus, No Glory to hold them back from picking up any additional points. We had a spill here on the outside of the track on the turn. We did have a star pass for Columbia as Mad Danger is going to the back of the pack. Trying to get through on this white wall. No Gus, No Glory is being held, and there's a slight spill here on the first turn. No Gus is getting held up by the black wall as Mad Danger is getting held up by the white wall. And the jam is called off by No Gus, No Glory. That was a 12-point jam going to Philly. It's like we have a timeout. An official timeout. We're going to take this opportunity to thank 888 Skate with Confidence. Whether your sport involves 2, 4, or 8 wheels, 888 is the leading global brand of helmets and protective gear worn by everyone from beginners to the best skate athletes in the world. Philly Juniors would like to thank 888 for helping to protect our brains again this season. I also want to say thank you to Wawa. If this is your first trip to Philadelphia, citywide favorite Wawa has everything you need. Hoagies, the regional favorite sandwich, drinks, snacks, you name it, Wawa has it. Fuel your day with Wawa, your all-day, everyday convenience store. Gotta have a Wawa. Next whistle's gonna start the jam. And jam is on. We do have Bee Sting and up against Bug on the jam line. Bug makes it through first, getting lead jammer status on the outside. We do have a Philly star pass going to Bad Blood, who's the pivot for Philly. And Bad Blood gets hit by Kid Block and then greeted by Soul Crusher, who both are cycling back. Both jammers. Both jammers have met the their wall with a little bit of stumble and a mix-up there in the center of the pack. With that, Bug is sent to the penalty box on a low block, giving the opportunity for Bad Blood for Philly to jump in to gain points for Philly. There is no lead jammer. This is going to go the full 2 minutes, so we have 50 seconds left. Bad Blood is trying to take this opportunity on a power jam to get through the white wall. And back skates past Go-Go to get through to pick up 4 points for Philly. Bug is out of the box for Columbia, working on the inside, juking to the outside to pick up 4 points for Columbia. As Bad Blood is stuck in the wall with the black walls, getting some assistance from the white wall. But Bud, it looks like, makes it to the outside to pick up 4 additional points for Columbia. This is a full 2-minute jam that just got called. That was a 1-point jam for Columbia. 7 points to Philly, 8 for Columbia. Score is 255, 149, Philly. Penalty box is empty, so we do have a full track. No Gus, No Glory up against Kilman for Columbia. Have a little bit of a spill there in the wall, but No Gus, No Glory takes full advantage, comes out in the front first to get lead jammer status as Kilman goes to the outside up against the white wall on his initial pass. No Gus, No Glory is getting held up by the black wall in the front of the pack, and Kilman got greeted in the back of the pack by the white wall. Both jammers are working frantically, trying to gain status to get pickup points. Kilman has made it to the front of the pack as No Gus, No Glory is in the back of the pack. No Gus, No Glory got knocked out by Bug, being cycled back as Kilman's in the front of the pack up against this Philly wall, who's holding him back from getting through to pick up additional points. No Gus, No Glory sneaked through, juking through the Columbia wall as No Gus, No Glory has lead jammer status. Kilman is trying to make an attempt to make it through the Philly wall, but cycled back as No Gus, No Glory's in the front of the pack. And takes full advantage, pushes through, and picks up an additional 4 points for Philly. No Gus, No Glory gets knocked out by Bug, has to cycle back to the back of the pack, but Kilman makes it through the front to pick up 4 points. That was a 4-point gain for Philly, 12 points for Philly, 8 for Columbia. We again have a full track, no one in the penalty box. Tenacious K for Philly and Bug for Columbia. Tenacious K sneaks on that inside with very minimal space, but makes it work and gets through to get lead jammer status. Attempts it again, but is stopped. Bug has made it through the front of the pack on his initial pass, working his way back around. Tenacious K gets knocked out by Chewy, met by Tank on the inside line as Bug is greeted by Bad Blood from Philly, cycled back. Tenacious K takes a heavy spill on the outside on this first turn, trying to get through the Columbia wall. Beasting comes in with an assist to try to help Tenacious K get through this wall. As Bad Blood is sent to the penalty box. So Philly is down to 4 in the white wall. As Columbia is working together to keep Tenacious K back. As Bug is greeted by the Philly wall, trying to be held back. Tenacious K gets knocked out by Kilman. Bug takes the opportunity to get to the front of the pack to get through to pick up an additional 4 points. Tenacious K has called off the jam. That was a 12-point jam for Columbia. 12-point game, excuse me, for Columbia. 4 points for Philly, 16 for Columbia. Score is 271 to 173 Philly with 2 minutes and 26 seconds left in this period. On the jam line, we have Kilman for Columbia. No Gus, no glory. This is possibly the last jam. Maybe he might be able to have another one in, but no Gus, no glory takes lead jammer status, busting through the front of that Columbia wall. Kilman is still working on that inside, does a hop skip on his toe stops to get through on that initial pass. No Gus, no glory is taking every opportunity of any gap that he sees open to get through and makes it through, pick up 4 points for Philly as Kilman is being held back by the white Philly wall. No Gus, no glory takes a apex jump on that first turn. And no Gus, no glory gets through as Kilman tries to attempt an apex jump, but is tripped up by Philly's number 21, who is sent to the penalty box on a low block. Kilman is still working in the back of the pack, up against being held back by the Philly wall, then being cycled back by Bad Blood. Thomas the Train has made it back up into the pack with the Columbia wall as No Gus, No Glory is working on that outside. As they go through, Kilman is sent to the penalty box on a cut track. No Gus, No Glory calls off the jam. It looks like they are letting the clock run out. And the unofficial score is 289 Philly, 177 Columbia.